I bet I drill a clean hole in somebody today.
For those of you who are unaware, there is currently a major discussion happening right now surrounding the character Christine Monterio. Now, I know I've been pronouncing the character's name wrong for years. It's Christie Moonsalt is what you're typing in the chat. Get those little sausage fingers off the keyboard. I know. Christine Monterio is the character that we're going to be talking about today, and a lot of people want this character to return. Now, before we even get deep into the conversation, the first hurdle you got to get past is this character alive or not? Because a lot of people feel like there's no way a character can return in Tekken 8 just going based off of what they previously established if they're not alive. That's like the major thing for Heihachi. Why would you put him in the game when he's dead, right? So for Christine, this character is 100% alive, at least at the time for Tekken 7. Harada says he was responding to someone who asked, "Where is she?" The tweet that initiated all of this is gone, but I remember it because I made a video about it when it first happened. They basically asked Harada, "Where is she currently in Tekken 7? 8/7/2020, Harada said, "I heard she's having a coffee break in Sao Paulo." That's basically a big city in Brazil. So at the time of Tekken 7, she was just chilling, which means she's probably most certainly alive during the events of Tekken 8. Now, with that aside, can she actually appear? We know Eddie is doing incredible things. He has this major role in the DLC story. Will there be subtle references or some way, somehow? I don't know. That's kind of what I want to explain today. But what kind of launched or initiated this conversation is something incredible happened. There's a famous artist by the name of Megan Thee Stallion. In her newest music video, she dressed up as the character Christine Monterio. Now, this sent shockwaves. It was posted on Twitter. It was posted on Reddit. You have almost 2,000 upvotes here. On Twitter, it has 17,000 likes. That is massive. The post says, "Look at Meg giving Christine her flowers." Now, I can't show you the whole entire music video. I can't show you bits and pieces of it.
Got every flavor. Take a picture, I post for the haters. Showing my ass like a blood entertainer. From the back, you can tell I'm from Texas. Yellow diamonds in my necklace.
And this is the thing, I know a little bit about Megan Thee Stallion. She's very into video games and anime. She always makes Street Fighter references, Mortal Kombat references, so it's no surprise that Tekken is coming down the road eventually.
Post a picture, bitches call me mother. Now who's son and who? Bitch, your time up.
And what makes this even crazier is that she posted the concept for Christine to her story. Mind you, she has over 30 million followers on Instagram. So to have this person with this name highlighting your character in this way is just amazing. And I don't even blame the Christine mains for being hyped. They are hype more than, and I'm happy for you guys. You know, I think Christine is so cool, and it sucks that she's going up against one of the icons, that is Eddie. In my opinion, the three most iconic characters in Tekken is King, Yoshi, and Eddie. So Christine has a major hurdle in overcoming Eddie because he's an icon, he's a pillar. But once again, this is something that people wanted all throughout Tekken 8, and honestly, it's not going to stop. She most likely won't be in Season 1, maybe not Season 2, but can we see her show up in the Season 3, Season 4? I feel like when we get that far along, things like this matter so much. If you think about Kunimitsu and how forgotten that character was at the start of Tekken 7, Harada said her usage was so low and she did not, and that's why they did not bring her into Tekken 7 because no one played her. But then she eventually made it in because the game went on for so long. So that kind of thing can happen for Christine, especially with this kind of backing. Now at the start of Tekken 8, Christine mains, they made a letter. Dear Harada-san, they put this out. This is kind of before the game came out, and I wanted to talk about this at the time, but I really didn't have time to, but now is a perfect time to. I know a lot of people in the comment section were laughing at this. They were trolling. They were saying, "Oh my God, look at the Christie mains writing letters to the developers." But honestly, I appreciate this level of dedication from the player base. I won't read the whole thing, but it says, "We are writing to express our tremendous excitement for Tekken 8. As devoted fans of the series, we wanted to take a moment to share our heartfelt desire regarding the inclusion of Christine Monteiro, who has been absent from the game for the past decade. So you can see that this is a well-worded, well thought out, love letter to the character, and people are really pleading with with the developers to bring her into the game. The part where I want to pick up, it says, we understand that game development involves making choices to ensure diversity and balance among the roster. However, we would like to highlight that Capoeira offers an abundance of opportunities for effective differentiation, Christine's gameplay and Eddie's gameplay. Just as the game features multiple karate styles, we believe adding another Capoeira style would be an excitement to the game. And this is something that I always thought about too, is and they kind of did this for Eddie already. They switched him up a lot in relation to past games, but imagine what another Capoeira character looked like who doesn't go into all these different stances, who has a totally different type of Capoeira. These characters were designed such a long time ago. I'm pretty sure Capoeira has evolved and progressed so much in the 30 years, and once again, that's kind of what they did with Eddie. They modernized him a little bit, but I'm pretty sure there's more to tap into, and you could give Christine her own flavor. That's what I always thought about, is why not make her own character instead of a clone? But also, is that what the majority of Christine players want? Do you want the character, or do you want the character and the fighting style? Same thing for people who say bring Baek Dusan back, right? All these other characters who are kind of mirrors of one another. But another thing that people always say too is why not just make the character a swamp outfits? The shop is something that they're pushing heavy. They just added ninja outfits and everyone online is rocking it. Why not throw alternate skins into the game as well? You have an alternate skin of Haram, which is Baek Dusan. You have an alternate skin for Eddie, which is Christine. This may cause a little bit of confusion when people recognizing which character is which. If you change Eddie to Christine, but then you dress up Christine in a customized way, that could confuse a lot of players. But even when you start to get into that conversation, Michael Murray shows up. Someone says, honestly, Namco could make all Christine fans happy by simply giving Eddie a Christine skin like Lee and Violet. Now, this was back in 2019 before Tekken 8 was even an idea. Michael Murray shows up and says, Christine is female, Violet is not. Neither is Eddie. Have you ever played a female character in GTA Online with a male animation? This might give you an idea, LOL. And basically what he means by that is in many different games, shooting games, even fighting games, many characters have different hitboxes. The females have smaller shoulders, usually kind of smaller heads, and when you shoot at them, you're generally shooting at a smaller target. So if you gave Eddie Christine's hitbox, you just would have to accommodate for her smaller body. And it sounds like that's not something that he wants to do. So it's really either Eddie, because Eddie's in the game now. So it's either Eddie and Christine can both exist at the same time, or only Eddie exists. And now when you talk about Eddie, before the game came out a year ago, I asked players, this is before we even knew what the roster was going to be in DLC, anything, right? We were expecting Eddie to be on base roster. And before we even got that announcement, I asked everyone, which Capoeira fighter do you want in Tekken 8? 9,000 votes on this poll. Eddie came out on top, 62%. But almost 40% says Christine. That is nothing to scoff at. That is a big number. That's a lot of people who, if she was announced for DLC, would buy this character. And if you look at Eddie, he kind of was popular in terms of Tekken 7. He was lower on the usage side. I believe he was in the 40s and whatnot. When they added him into Tekken 8, he was #1. I don't know where he stands now. We need updated statistics so we can get a better idea. But as of April, he was #1. So even if a character wasn't really that popular in the past or something like that, just when you bring him back as DLC, a lot more people are willing to try him out, especially when you overhaul the move, when you make him a little bit better, a little bit cooler. I think right now there's a lot of hype around Christine, and I'm happy for you guys. Like I said before, I really don't have a dog in this fight for which character should show up as DLC. Yoshimitsu's my character, he's already there. Bob is kind of my secondary, but I really don't even I'm not marching around yelling for Bob. He'll show up when he shows up. But for all of you who want these characters to return, return. I'm just happy for you guys when you get like a spotlight shined. Megan Thee Stallion making this music video, telling all of her fans about this character, giving her new life is something that I think is just incredible. And in this video, I just wanted to highlight it and talk about it and just spread the word. DLC is incredible. It gives characters who normally wouldn't show up an opportunity to show up. And in my opinion, that description best fits a character like Christine Monterio. So I'm all aboard to bring back Christine for Tekken 8 Hype Train.